The 10th ranked player in the class of 2013 was 6'1" point guard Casey Hill. He attended the very well known Montverde Academy. Despite being just 6'1", his ability to jump out the gym made him one of the most viral prospects in the class. Following high school, he decided to go to the University of Florida, where he would fall off the radar for the NBA pretty quickly. As a freshman, he was averaging just 6 points a game. By the time he was a senior, his numbers were still not impressive, averaging 10 points and 5 assists, shooting 41% from the field and 21% from 3. Unsurprisingly, he went undrafted in 2017 and would never get a chance in the NBA. He would start his professional career in Hungary, and he's continued to play overseas since. Next up, we've got the 9th ranked prospect, Aaron Harrison, one half of one of the most hyped up basketball brothers we've ever seen, the Harrison twins. A well-rounded 6'6" shooting guard who was one of the most sought-after prospects in the class, with the likelihood if you've got one of the twins, you probably get both. He ended up going to Kentucky along with several other top recruits. Harrison would have a very solid freshman season, averaging 14 points, shooting 36% from 3, but he really became a household name during Kentucky's tournament run, going all the way to the national championship, with Aaron having several clutch shots that without, they wouldn't have had the opportunity to lose to UConn. He would have most likely been drafted if he declared, but instead decided to go for his second season, where his stock would take a big hit, with him averaging 11 points, shooting below 40% from the field. He would go undrafted in 2015, but managed to sign a deal with the Charlotte Hornets. He would only play 26 games in Charlotte, spending most of his time in the G League. He would get his last NBA chance in 2018 for the Dallas Mavericks, but after that, he would go overseas, where he's been playing to this day. The 8th ranked recruit was James Young, a 6'6" wing from Flint, Michigan, who was a senior at Rochester High School, would average an insane 27 points, 16 rebounds, and 6 assists. He decided to go to the University of Kentucky, a pretty common theme throughout this video. He would have a very solid freshman year, averaging 14 points and 4 rebounds, shooting 35% from 3, and actually breaking the Kentucky freshman record for 3-pointers in a season. His run in the tournament really helped his stock, and he would go to the 2014 draft, where the Boston Celtics would grab him with the 17th pick. Once getting to the league, it was clear that it just wasn't going to be great for him. He would play 3 seasons in Boston, averaging a whopping 2 points, shooting 37% from the field and 28% from 3. He would then go to the G League, and in 2019 went overseas, and he's been there since. One of the most interesting things about doing these videos is seeing all the opportunities to play pro basketball around the world that in a lot of cases give out a pretty decent bag to these NBA rejects. The 7th ranked prospect was 7-foot center Dakari Johnson. He also attended Montverde Academy, where as a senior, he averaged 17 points, 11 rebounds, and 4 blocks. He would finish that year as a 2nd ranked center, and surprise, surprise, decided to go to Kentucky. He went into the year projected to be a one-and-done, first-round prospect, but after his freshman season, where he averaged 5 points and 4 rebounds, he decided to come back for his sophomore year, where it was much of the same. He would go to the 2015 draft, where the Oklahoma City Thunder grabbed him with the 48th pick in the 2nd round. He would spend his first 2 seasons in their G League affiliate, but got a chance in the 2018 season, where he'd play 31 games, averaging a mind-blowing 2 points and 1 rebounds. Following that season, he'd get bounced around via trade to the Magic and Grizzlies, but just ended up getting waived. He then decided to go play in China, where he's been since, playing pretty well, averaging 24 and 15 a season ago. The list really starts to heat up at 6, where we've got the top-ranked center, 7-foot, Cameroon-born Joel Embiid. Embiid didn't start playing basketball until he was 15. By the time he was 16, he would get discovered by an NBA player, Luka Mute, who would take him under his wing, and Embiid would move to the States. He would start off his career at Montverde, but ended up leaving due to a lack of opportunity, and would go to the Rock School, where he would win a state championship as a senior, averaging 13 points, 10 rebounds, and 2 blocks. It's a pretty amazing story, going from first playing basketball at 15 in Cameroon to being a 5-star recruit just 3 years later. He then decided to go to the University of Kansas. He went into the season projected to be a top pick, and that didn't change. He averaged 11 points, 8 rebounds, and 3 blocks. Now, at the end of the season, he did suffer a back fracture, but the 76ers decided to take the risk on him with the 3rd overall pick in the 2014 draft. A risk that really paid off, but it didn't always look like that was going to be the case. Due to a foot injury, he would miss the entirety of his first 2 seasons. His rookie year wasn't technically until 2016, where he would play just 31 games with a minute restriction, but it was very clear that he was the real deal. In that season, he averaged 20 points, 8 rebounds, and 2 blocks, shooting 39% from 3. He has continued to have success, and in the eyes of many right now is the top center in the NBA. He's one of the frontrunners for MVP, averaging 30 points and 12 rebounds, shooting 52% from the field, 42% from 3, and 86% from the line on almost 12 attempts a game. Absolutely insane. The 5th-ranked prospect is the other half of the Harrison twins, Andrew Harrison. Andrew would finish his senior season as the top-ranked point guard in the class, and like his brother, decided to go to Kentucky. As a freshman, he averaged 11 points and 4 assists, but shot just 37% from the field. He returned for his sophomore year where we didn't see much improvement. While his production was pretty comparable to his brother, standing at 6'6" at that point guard position allowed him to be drafted in the 2nd round by the Phoenix Suns, then have his rights traded to the Grizzlies. He would spend his first season in the G League, where he actually played pretty well, averaging 19 points a game, earning him a multi-year deal with Memphis. His first season there, he actually had a very sizable role, getting 21 minutes a game, but averaged just 6 points and 3 assists, shooting 33% from the field. In his second season, he would start in 46 games, averaging 10 points, but continued to struggle scoring the ball, shooting 42% from the field and 33% from 3. In 2018, he would get waived. He would then have very small stints with the Cavs and Pelicans, and has been bouncing between the G League and overseas since. The 4th-ranked prospect was 6'9" power forward Aaron Gordon. Gordon would go viral in high school with his insane dunks. As a senior, he would average 22 points, 16 rebounds, and 3 blocks a game. After winning the MVP of the McDonald's All-American game, he decided to go to the University of Arizona. He was looked at as a lock for a top pick by many going into that freshman season, after averaging 12 points and 8 rebounds, shooting 50% from the field and 36% from 3. That didn't change, and the Orlando Magic would take him with the 4th pick in the 2014 draft. He got off to a really slow start in his NBA career, but since has become a very solid forward in this league. He's never quite reached that potential we thought he had coming in, but he's currently averaging 14 points, 7 rebounds, and 4 assists as a 37% 3-point shooter. With just one more year on his contract, where he's owed $16 million, he's actually a very intriguing trade target at the upcoming deadline. 6'8" power forward Julius Randle was a 3rd-ranked prospect. As a senior at Prestwood Christian, he would average an insane 33 points and 23 rebounds. He decided to join the other 4 players from this video and go to Kentucky. As a freshman, he would average 15 points and 10 rebounds. He was the leader of this team's run to the championship game. He decided to go to the 2014 draft, where the Lakers grabbed him with the 7th overall pick. He really didn't excite many in his time in LA, but after his rookie contract, he would go to the New Orleans Pelicans, where he would really break out, averaging 21 points and 9 rebounds. He's currently on the New York Knicks, where he's one of the top contenders for the NBA's most improved, being one of the most well-rounded bigs, averaging 23 points, 11 rebounds, and 6 assists, shooting 48% from the field and 41% from 3. It's kind of crazy how much he's changed as a player since his time at Kentucky, but he's really starting to get respect across the league, with his role in the Knicks currently sitting as the 5th seed in the East. The 2013 class was one of the most hyped up recruiting classes we've ever seen, and a huge part of that was 6'9" power forward Jabari Parker. By the end of his freshman season, he had the choice of practically every college in the country after averaging 19 points and 5 rebounds. By the time he was a senior, he was getting hyped up as a future NBA great and decided to go to Duke. As a freshman there, he didn't disappoint. He averaged 19 points and 9 rebounds, shooting 47% from the field and 38% from 3. Going into the draft, he had a real shot at number 1, but ended up going to the Milwaukee Bucks. Parker would tear his ACL in his rookie year, but by his 3rd season, he was looked at as one of the most promising young talents in the league, averaging 20 points, 6 rebounds, and 3 assists, shooting 49% from the field and 37% from 3. But in that season, he would again tear his ACL, and he would never really be the same player. He's become a solid role player. He's currently on the Sacramento Kings, but it's really interesting to think about where his career would be without those injuries. Would he be dominating alongside Giannis? Lastly, we've got the top-ranked player in the class, Andrew Wiggins. Now, we were talking about how Parker received a ton of hype coming out of high school, which is true, but that doesn't compare to Wiggins. He was probably the most hyped-up high school recruit since LeBron James at the time. He was getting compared to the likes of Kobe Bryant, even by Kobe Bryant. The freak athlete, 6'7" small forward, averaged 23 points, 11 rebounds, and 3 blocks as a senior, and decided to team up with Joel Embiid and go to Kansas. As a freshman, his success continued, averaging 17 points and 6 rebounds, shooting 45% from the field and 34% from 3. He would then go to the draft, where he edged out Parker for the top spot, going to the Minnesota Timberwolves. In his rookie year, he showed a lot of promise. He averaged 17 points and won Rookie of the Year, but sadly, we really didn't see the rapid progress we hoped for him. But in 2017, he would still manage to earn a 5-year, $150 million contract. This past season, the Timberwolves decided to include him in the trade for D'Angelo Russell, and he would go to the Golden State Warriors. So far, he's had a really solid season there, averaging 17 points, shooting 46% from the field, and 35% from 3, really showing he can actually contribute to winning basketball.